Welcome back to the Heavily Opinionated Podcast. It's your boy Jamelky John, aka Melly Mel, aka whatever you want to call me. And with me, I got.
It's your boy, it's your homie, it's your best friend. Happy Valentine's Day and President's Day to you. It's your boy, Playboy Troy.
Yeah, who else? President's Day. Yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Who
yeah,
else
yeah.
I got with me tonight?
It's your boy Kooley aka Frank Mason. 1/4 of Heli Opinionated, and we here in the station.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And last but certainly not least,
It's your boy Pimp Pat, Platinum Pat, back. What up, though?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, let's get straight into it. We've been gone a while, but we back now, and we back with a new NFL champ. I got my dingy Eagle shirt. I got my new water bottle.
Boy
Man,
been
come on.
jacked up. He done climbed so many
Hey,
light
It feel
bulbs.
good, man. It feel good. A nigga can't sip water? Jesus Christ. Nigga just AO because I wanted a sip of water to hydrate. Jesus
you ain't
Christ.
do that.
I ain't had to sip no water?
You ain't. Yeah, I mean, but what was the you showed the bottle already? Like, what was the point?
Greatest blowout.
Gotta sip that greatness.
Best entertaining. Well, the most
We
entertaining
sipping on
blowout.
greatness tonight.
Most entertaining blowout. Nigga, halftime was the most
Yes.
entertaining about that blowout.
Halftime show was
I
pretty
went
good.
to
It was a
sleep.
pretty good halftime show.
Man,
I
he's sleep because
mean,
he's
to
still a
me,
Cowboys fan.
it felt
That
like
dumb shit
every
with you,
time
nigga.
something when I felt like usually when you watch blowouts, it's usually like, oh, fourth and out because he threw away the ball, punt. It always felt like it was something happening to Pat Mahomes the whole entire game. It was like sack, interception, sack, fumble, sack. It felt like it was always something going on.
Felt like a jumping.
And there's also the factor of you can't count Mahomes out. I'm going to keep it a stat with you.
That too.
My ass did not celebrate until 34-0. Oh, up until 34-0, I was still like, that motherfucker come back right now. Because Saquon couldn't get it going with shout out to them boys. They did what they did. They did what motherfuckers said needed to happen. Put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands. And that motherfucker delivered. Defense stepped up. Motherfucker did not send a single blitz. Well, I would say no more than 4. Because they did send Zach Bond, but then they brought Nolan Smith back into coverage. But they never sent more than 4. So
which is not a blitz.
They did send a linebacker, but I want to make sure because some people will sit here and say, "Oh, well, they sent Zach."
They ain't go casino.
No, they pulled back. So
they ain't go cover zero.
Yeah, man, what a great game, man. I still it don't feel right to see, like, not right, but it still don't feel real. That's what I should say. It don't feel real yet that it happened. There was a time where I was like, damn, they could come back. 17-0 was nothing. But it was good to see everybody just balling. I wish we would have Kellen Moore. That he did a really good job this year. Jalen Hurts has never had an offensive coordinator for more than 2 years, going all the way back to high school and Alabama. Always been changing. So, that system quarterback label, it could be used on him still, but it can't also because it's like you adjust to a system really well, but then you also never really get a chance to fully get a system. So that'll show in his career which is going to be better for him. Is he going to be the guy that needs that full system to keep going, or is he a guy who it don't matter? Obviously, so far it's shown, hey man, give me the right system. Every year I can do something different. So he's definitely elevated his game. I believe, taking my unbiased opinion out of it, he's definitely number 5. I can't put him outside of top 5 because Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar. If you don't put Hurts after that, that's on you.
Did we not just have this big ass conversation about
Come out.
Yeah, like why he just only did that?
I would just say this because I might have missed that.
He just did
what?
that.
Whoa,
did you just sneak? It felt like you snuck Burrow at number 3.
Oh no, that wasn't in order.
He did a lot with
that.
Okay.
That wasn't in order. My bad. That wasn't in order. It would be Mahomes.
No, I didn't
Lamar,
take it as that.
Allen, Burrow, Hurts. I feel like that's.
Yeah, I know you were just calling out the quarterbacks.
Are we going to just not? Somebody pulled the tape. We just had a full conversation about this. I feel like it was my last.
Yeah, it was like 2 episodes ago. We talked about.
Bro, this man said, "I'm taking Hurts over Lamar," and then you put Lamar 2 after Hurts then won a ring, and your whole reason was because Hurts is gonna win a ring.
No. I said no, Pat. You didn't hear the first sentence. I said taking my unbiased. Bias. I I'm saying this is what I think America was going to put. Unbiased. This is
So
what
you was
if you go
so
off
that
the
was a biased
statistical
opinion you were giving us.
Of course. Heavily
I thought
opinionated.
we give
I thought
all our opinions are usually unbiased on this show.
I thought I was talking facts
That's
at that
me.
point.
We need
I
to
thought I was
reevaluate this
going back and
relationship.
forth with somebody
We
who was
mixing the
talking
bias
We
facts.
are not on the same, but we need to
I'm
reevaluate this
arguing
relationship.
facts with a
I
nigga
know
and he talking, he arguing his feelings.
I put my bias to the
I don't
side.
argue facts. That's boring. Nobody wants that.
Well, can I say
Market
this?
facts. What?
Can I say this?
Who wants to argue facts
I'm pretty
all day?
biased when it
That's
comes to
not
my
argument.
personal team,
Being
but I'm
unbiased,
If we argue facts all day, we're
there
all
should
saying
be
the same
no
thing.
more conversation.
Because it's all facts. There's only one fact. The show is called Heavily Opinionated, not fact.
The fact. So
you can argue facts.
Well,
so it just said,
opinion.
can I have this fact?
What?
You can't. I don't care. That's you.
Lamar is better than Jalen Hurts.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think the sky is gray.
No. Is this not a fact? Yes or no? I'm just asking you, Mel. I just want to know.
That question can't be factual.
I would like to highlight.
You know what?
Ranked him over.
I would like.
Can I say this though? Can I say this though?
Can I say something that's
always subjective?
Can we compare that Lamar and Jalen Hurts conversation a little bit to just me putting it out there, kind of in that conversation of that Kyrie Dame conversation? Because Jalen Hurts seems like a better.
That's a OG heavily.
Jalen Hurts seems like the Damian Lillard in this situation. Even though he got rings, he seems like the Damian Lillard in this situation.
Is it?
Because if we're talking about individual skill and everything, Lamar is that guy. But we're talking about team wise, that got everybody.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Like,
I think that's
flip. I think that's flip.
The subjective thing is which one do you want? Because it's like a better quarterback. Do you want a better quarterback with better skill set or a better quarterback that could get you that dub? It depends on which one do you view as better. Because
I definitely
there's a lot of quarterbacks that have way more skill sets than Tom Brady. There's a lot of quarterbacks that have way better skill sets than Tom Brady.
That's facts.
But Tom Brady got 7 rings.
But
so it's
in that same breath,
he's winning.
Nobody played in that
skill set
as well.
What other skill set can you have over Tom Brady than running?
I mean, bro, there's people who threw better balls. There's people who threw further than him. There was people who was.
That's why I want to point out with Jalen
they had better
skill
set for sure than Tom Brady. He just had a better
thing. Like Lamar,
he had a way better
game.
He's only
had one turnover. He's had 2 turnovers since September. One against Dallas the second time, and then the other one in the Super Bowl.
He's smart with the ball. I would give him that 100%.
I put Jalen Hurts like as far as like who I want for my quarterback. I put like him over Lamar. Cause Lamar, he gonna give you the touchdown. He gonna give you the production. You gonna be in the playoff, but like when in the crucial moments, he may or may not turn that ball over. Jalen Hurts, he's pretty reliable. Like
so, but do you think? Well, can I ask this? Do y'all feel like Lamar has the team that Hurts has across the board? Across the board, and I mean that for blocking.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Pretty loaded.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
They pretty loaded.
Does Lamar have the same team as Jalen Hurts? If it was a Temu version of it, yes.
And that's what I'm saying because they don't have the same.
Because he has a great running back right there in the backfield with him. He has some great wide receivers.
Well, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Don't Temu they running back. I'm not gonna do that.
No.
They wide receivers.
What's Temu about?
I'm talking about overall. Like it's just a lower quality wide receivers, lower quality line, lower quality.
Yeah, Eagles got better wide receivers.
And right now, if you just being honest with you, only thing that Lamar has, that Jalen Hurts has, is a great running back.
Yes,
that's the only thing that Lamar has.
The Eagles got a better line.
And then from there, that's why you see so much. That's why you see so much is being done by Lamar. Because he has to do so much,
and what I'm saying to play devil's advocate.
But that's why like you can make that same statement for why Josh. Like I know a lot of people like it. Here's the thing: same statement you can make with Josh Allen winning MVP.
Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. The way their game is now, a lot of people are, oh, you give them this, you give them this. I understand what people are saying, but to play devil's advocate, that don't always help sometimes. You know, you can have a superstar quarterback who's had to do it all himself, gets all this talent. And then he like, oh shit, I got to give him the ball now. They don't have to be Superman no more. Now their game has to change. Not saying that it doesn't work, but
That's
now
true.
they got to change their game. Because I'm trying to think of any
Well,
Super Bowl winning
well, you got to
quarterback.
look at it
No,
this.
I'm trying to think of any Super Bowl winning. Name some
why
Super
haven't
Bowl winning
Buffalo
quarterbacks
got
that have
past
had to
him?
be Superman.
Why
But
haven't
this is
Buffalo
what
got
I'm
past
saying.
him?
And to your point, there was probably some Super Bowl quarterbacks that had great seasons and before and after, but that year of the Super Bowl was a great team. And there was blocking, there was this, there was that. We honestly, Lamar doesn't need no skill set players. We see what he's done with these lower tier and now getting a Derrick Henry top tier running back, and he gave up some of his running, and we still got a high level of production out of the guy. He got one of his wide receivers now to the All-Pro game because he was able to throw and get things.
Well, right now you got to look at it though. You got to look at it now for Baltimore. The only thing they need to fix is their defense.
They need to fix that line too. They need to fix that line as well. They need to add some deep on that line, and that's my point.
That's what won us.
But this is why I bring this up when we're talking about back to Kooley's statement. I would take a Jalen Hurts over Lamar, or what we're all saying. I think Lamar has the skill set. He just does not have the team. No. This is what Kooley said. No, I repeated what Kooley said. That's not what I'm saying. Kooley said I would take Jalen Hurts over Lamar.
I thought he would take CJ Stroud though.
I'm saying personally, we're just talking about these two people. He might take CJ Stroud, but I'm saying
I'm talking about in the aspect like I'm gonna take Jalen Hurts because he don't turn the ball like like Lamar. He don't put the.
I don't think he less do as much as Lamar. Style. He doesn't have to risk as much as Lamar has to.
Exactly,
and that's a truth. That's a fair.
He literally does not.
He don't have
that. Josh Allen risks way more than a Jalen Hurts.
See, but because
that push
you know where that
number one receiver out.
You know where that comes in at? That comes in with the fact that Jalen Hurts knows one, y'all defense is great. So literally, if he messes up, he knows the defense got me on the backside.
Yeah.
Guess what? Lamar Odom, when he messes up, the defense don't got me on the backside.
Lamar Jackson.
What'd I say?
Odom.
My bad.
Nigga went old school. Nigga went old school.
Anyway, messes up. The defense
Odom somewhere.
Yeah, he don't know what's gonna happen.
Sugar.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't know if he's gonna get the ball back in that same quarter. He don't know if they gonna get the ball back and they already down by 7 or they down 7 more. So with Jalen Hurts, you kind of have that safety net there. So it's like that's just what it is. And even he has a safety net. We're talking about the safety net that's already right there with God dang, I just went blank on his name. Running back.
Saquon or yeah.
Literally, he has the safety net right there. So really, majority of the time, sometimes he don't have to run. He don't have to throw the ball. Guess what?
He didn't have that safety net, we saw what happened.
We saw what he did. Kellen Moore did. I don't know if a lot of people saw it. We was watching the game. A.J. Brown was getting pissed off, as he always does. Him and Sirianni. 2 plays later, A.J. scores the touchdown. It's a good team because remember, earlier in the season, motherfuckers, A.J. Brown, he don't want to be there. Him and Jalen, they beefing. Sirianni, everybody was counting this team as like a repeat of last year, which was a horrible year that I saw out of Philly. And I think everybody just stepped up and just balled out and did.
We repeated the same things though.
Offense,
we all repeated the same thing though.
The game, bro. Like there's
y'all have to think. Y'all
you
know what? The Eagles.
Fan base is selfish. If everybody didn't stand up,
no one called the back.
Saquon got shut down. What do you think happens in that game? We lose.
I mean, bro. At the end of the day, y'all did y'all job at that point, bro. Like
I think y'all
Jalen Hurts has different done, and they gave him
I'm not gonna do that.
How is that not saying the same thing as
what I'm gonna say
doing that job and stepping up is the same phrase?
The same statement.
That's the same phrase as saying everybody.
But I will say, I thought you were referencing the season,
but
not the game. But I still think
the same statement.
I'm referring to that playoff run.
We said in the Super Bowl, AJ, you gotta stop bitching, man. Guess what? Once you stop bitching, you got the ball.
And even to your point, we just said it earlier.
No, but
we just said it earlier. When you add players,
and the context to that, he was basically holding Sirianni accountable, and Sirianni holds him accountable. That's all it is. It wasn't a
hold him accountable for what?
Maybe he ran the wrong route. Maybe he did.
No. What is AJ Brown holding Sirianni accountable for?
Calling the right plays. There's the small things.
Y'all are winning. Y'all were winning.
Y'all are
You
winning.
just weren't. He just wasn't
We
getting
was
the
only
ball.
up 2 possessions. We was only up 2 possessions at that time.
Winning.
Bro, winning.
We was up 2 possessions 2 years in the other Super Bowl against Pat Mahomes, and we lost.
Perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. That's a different game.
No.
I don't even think AJ Brown was in that game.
I get that. Y'all
yes,
are up 2.
That's
Y'all
crazy.
are up
was in
2,
the last
and
Super Bowl.
y'all have been in that same position against Patrick Mahomes.
But he lost that Super Bowl the first year. Hold on, Naj.
This Super Bowl, y'all are whipping his ass when y'all going in.
This is a different game,
bro.
It doesn't matter.
Granted, it was a completely different game, but the score was different. And you never, I like I said, I did not count Mahomes out until that dagger shot.
And that's
when
fine.
He hit Devontae Smith for a 50-yarder. Prior to that, when we was up 17-0, I was like, okay, they could come back. When we was up 24-0 at halftime, I felt good. But then when we hit 34-0, I said, yeah, we're straight. We're good. Because to me, I can't count Mahomes out. And then also, I was like, it would be so poetic. Brady's commentating the game, and Mahomes has a comeback with like maybe 2 points less than what Brady did. No shade on you, Frank. No shade on you.
Go.
But I mean, and that's fine. That's fine. It's fine to have a competitive edge and want to keep winning, but you can't say that Nick Sirianni was calling bad plays. You were
no. It could have just been a bad play in the moment.
Relax.
Can I just say it? Can we just talk about it? Listen, AJ Brown, they have Saquon Barkley in the backfield. What you was doing last year, it's not going to be the same this year. We have different priorities. We want a different offense.
No.
Why you think Jalen Hurts not turning the ball over? Why you think
No.
we leading the league in rushing? We're like behind. We're either behind right there with Baltimore in the most rushing yards and the most rushing touchdowns. Why you think that?
And he understands that. No. I've listened to AJ Brown a lot of post game stuff. His frustration is
what it is, man.
His frustration isn't from I'm not getting catches. That's not his frustration that a lot of people think a receiver is. His frustration could be, why did we call this, like, this run play was not supposed to be the right way.
Okay.
It could be he can get mad at a run play.
That ain't your job. That ain't your job. And your job is
but that's the part of being a team. Part of being a Super Bowl winning team is everybody holds each other accountable.
Yes, and that's so very much true. But you don't have to go and do that at the post game. You don't have to do that out publicly. You don't have to do it to the extent of what he's doing it to, and to where everybody's adding scrutiny to your team.
I just think it's real convenient.
It's the way to do stuff.
I just think it's a crazy coincidence that during the time,
but internally they were fine to where it's like, well, we know that's how AJ get down. We good. We're not gonna take that seriously. Well, not seriously. We're not gonna take that as he don't want to be here no more. But obviously, the media is going to blow that up because that's what happens a lot of times when you see a receiver.
From the outside looking in, from a fan perspective, it looked like he was crying.
Temper tantrum, 2 plays later, touchdown. Everyone's.
I mean, we can't say that. We can't say that because I will say this: where there's smoke, there's fire. That nigga might have wanted to leave. He might have wanted to leave because things was different. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You got a ring now.
Going off what he said. It doesn't. I don't see it.
Of course.
Here in the post game,
they say everything. They're told to go and do media. They're media trained. They're given things to go and say.
Even the most diva wide receivers will still break that barrel and say.
I'm gonna say this though.
There's smoke, there's fire.
Overall, the game wise,
he don't want to see us repeat, man.
Halftime, I enjoyed it. Overall, I enjoyed everything. I ain't gonna complain about it. I think that was a good Super Bowl for me. I ain't gonna say the best Super Bowl. But it was a good Super Bowl in my eyes. I'm good with it.
I think it was good, and also, shout out to Nolan Smith from the 912. Got a ring, man. Shout out to him.
Don't give a fuck about it.
I do. I like seeing people from the city.
Shout out them dogs, man.
We do not care.
Man, and shout out to the dogs, man. They have really helped us.
No, fuck it.
Jalen Carter didn't even have a crazy game, and that's another thing.
Go ahead, man.
A lot of guys, a lot of people that expected the players that people expected to have a good game. Saquon, Jalen Carter. Those were the ones that actually got a little bit,
I'm one of the people who didn't.
I ain't gonna lie.
I'm one of the people who didn't expect Saquon to have a good game.
Yeah, I knew Saquon was the box was gonna be stacked. I mean,
I know they game plan.
They kept playing in the.
I thought they would first half, but second half he break.
They kept mentioning at the little media scrum that they were gonna stop Saquon. So in my head,
their whole game plan was to stop Saquon.
Everybody says
if you're sitting there, first of all,
but 2 weeks is different. Compared to 1 week.
2 weeks is different, and the Chiefs line is different from Commanders line. That's one thing. But two, if they sitting there going, we're gonna stop Saquon, he ain't having a 100-yard game. He ain't doing it. Guess what? I'm probably going at that point, Jalen Hurts, you better step up. Because if
And
they
he did,
talking
man.
that big shit like that, Jalen Hurts, this is gonna be your game now. This is your moment for everybody to prove to shut all the dollars up, to shut up all the Franks. That's just your moment. That's just what it is.
And he did, man.
And he did.
And as much as I would
he
have
shut
loved
me right
Saquon to
up.
have a crazy run because of his story with the Giants
And he
and all
dropped the
that,
commotion on my head,
I
man.
felt
You
like
ain't
it
have
was
to do
better.
that.
That was a great commercial too.
That
I
was a
felt
pretty
it was
good commercial.
better for Jalen Hurts too. I was like, Jalen Hurts.
What a hoe! Right after
Jalen
the
Hurts
Super Bowl,
needed
what a
this more
hoe!
than Saquon did.
I don't know about
Yeah.
that. I think they both needed it.
Of course.
I think they both needed it
the Super
equally.
Bowl
because
performance
Jalen
doesn't
lost 2
happen
years
without
ago.
Saquon. So
Sirianni needed it the most.
I mean, one that could be true too.
That's
But
true.
I think you got to look at. I mean, if you lost twice to Patrick Mahomes, niggas lost twice to Brady. So we're gonna be like, all right, it's the Mahomes era in a sense. But I think when you kind of look at it like for both of them, you know what I mean? Like Saquon giving up. Once Saquon gave up that game, it went to that same level.
Okay.
Once Saquon gave up that title, that running title, you got to win this ring now because I just gave up history. And statistically, there's like overall running backs don't have another good year like that back to back. Like
that's
it's
true.
hard to
that
do.
shit go down quick.
That is very true. But what I'll say with Jalen, Saquon hadn't really been there before in a sense. With Jalen, it's like you've been here and you got pulled out the national. Because it's like never I've heard a lot of people. There's not a lot of current quarterbacks where people are pulling your shit from college on you. Besides Jalen Hurts, motherfuckers, the entire Sunday, we talk about the game where he got pulled for Tua. They talked about this shit so many times. The week leading up to it, during the game, even after the game. Right now, they talk about it as his story. So it's like he's always
that shit
been
is legendary. It is.
It is
that
legendary.
Shit lame
but
as hell.
Also, if he would have lost, it would have been like, here you go. You lost. You got pulled out the championship game. You lost 2 years ago in the Super Bowl. You lose
and
this
that would
year's
have been
Super
his
Bowl.
He's a loser.
It would have been a story of you can't play in the big games. So to me, I'm like, Jalen needed this to show I can ball out in the big games more than Saquon. Saquon, it was a little bit. It was like, okay, well, you did need this. Don't get me wrong. You did need this because you came from the Giants. You had the rushing.
I would definitely
and
bigger
remember,
for
Saquon is on a 1-year deal.
For Jalen.
But Saquon still, that's true. Is he?
Yes, he's on a prove-it deal. He chose to. I believe he chose to.
No, he got traded. No, he got traded.
No,
so he probably has another.
He didn't get traded. He
didn't get traded.
He signed with them.
It was a
signing
trade.
Get traded. He
no, there's a whole clip of the
go.
Giants saying,
if we let him go, we will be
yeah,
pissed.
You're right. Maybe he's. But I only say that because everyone's been
gave
talking
the money
about
to Danny DeVito.
Us trying to
everyone
keeps
Daniel Jones, not Daniel DeVito.
Everyone's been talking about us trying to re-sign Bond.
Yeah.
The other two guys that balled out, Sweat and Milton Williams on the D line, who was quiet most of the season. They talking about, can we bring them back? A lot of people have been talking about those guys on defense. A lot of people have been talking about, are we going to bring back the offense? Everyone's presuming that we're bringing everybody back. So that's why I didn't hear much about Saquon.
I'm going to look it up. I'm about to look up Saquon's deal, but I believe.
I can't remember for sure, but yeah, man, the offense balled out. They did what they needed to do, specifically Jalen. That story, like you were saying, Pat, it is a great story to hear.
Now he's on a 3-year.
He's on a 3-year. Okay.
Yeah.
I just think Jalen needed that more. But I could see I could understand the argument for Saquon needing it more too. But he also still passed the record. And that was another thing to me. I was just like, okay, yeah, he didn't pass it regular season. But also, it's like, if you throw in the playoffs, he got it. I know
no, it don't work that way.
Because then he also ended up breaking
because
he broke the record because he broke the record including playoffs.
Because OJ niggas in the 80s was getting 2,000 yards.
Then if that's the case, Pat, then that last game shouldn't count because we have one more game.
But that's my point. We can't keep adding extra games into this conversation. So
yeah, it don't hold
that's
the
why
same
to me
weight,
the record is like
the regular season is the regular season.
Exactly. To me, the record is like, yes, it's regular season, but it's also one more game. So it's like, can we really like it? I thought it was a huge thing, but I was like, well, to me, it's like,
it's bigger.
Huh?
If the championship is just bigger.
Oh, yeah, for
if
sure,
I have the championship,
and that's what I'm saying. Jalen needed a championship.
I have to win that.
Saquon really needed that record. Not needed it, but his
story. I have to. I gave the record up. I have to win this ring now.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's why I'm not taking away from Jalen because to your point, that's a part of his history. Everything that happened to him in college, everything going into the league and then losing the Super Bowl before to the same person that now you're playing against, and they're on the chance to go and make history. Not only that, you're stopping history from happening.
Three-peat.
You know what I'm saying?
Three-peat was a big deal.
That adds weight to both of them. I felt like at that point where it was like, nah, like Jalen needed this, Saquon needed this, and I think to your point about like the college thing, I mean, I think that's just gonna travel. Like Tom Brady, his whole thing is he was a walk-on in college. Look at what he did when he did everything there. Or I think he was a red shirt this first year, not a walk on, one or the other. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't drafted too high. He was drafted low, and then he came in, and now he's got the most. You know what I mean? This is a part of his story. So I think that's going to be the same thing when you have just that crazy of a story. Like even when we talk about, I want to say not it's either Baker or what's the other dude that was really known, but one of them had transferred schools in college. Remember, they was balling and then went to Oklahoma, and then jumped and took that shit and like went stupid at Oklahoma. I want to say it was Johnny Manziel.
No, Johnny ain't never transferred.
All right,
Caleb
so then it might have been
Caleb left Oklahoma.
It might have been Baker.
Probably Baker.
Might have been Baker.
Baker was at Texas Tech and then went to Oklahoma.
And then went to Oklahoma. And then was jumping, and that's a part of his story in a sense. But I definitely
think Kyler Murray was at Texas A&M.
Kyler, another one.
Yeah.
Now I do think it is heavily mentioned with Jalen, but I do think coming up we're gonna see that mentioned with Shiloh and Travis Hunter a lot. Going forward, we're gonna see their college mentioned a lot, like came from a HBCU, then went to
of course, because HBCU Heisman, he won the Heisman. Yeah, they're gonna talk about college a lot.
They will talk about that a lot. I think that's a good point for the future. I think we'll see a lot of college conversation with some of these newer guys. Because after that, sometimes you hear about it with Burrow just a little bit, and I think that's because I think it's because
that shit kind of legendary. I ain't gonna lie.
But then if you look at the rest of the team of Philly, a lot of people talk about it with Devontae, Mr. Heisman. They bring up his Heisman a lot because also he's the last player. Dogs. Because in the Philadelphia Dogs, that was going to be my next one, and then also I think with Devontae, because a lot of people don't bring up Baker or Kyler's Heisman like that. They barely even bring up Lamar's Heisman because one, he's got MVPs. But also Devontae, they bring up his Heisman because he's the only quarterback that we've seen, maybe Mark Ingram, non-quarterback that we've seen.
Yeah, non-quarterback. So, but I would say this too.
Oh, and now with Travis. So
I'm gonna say this too, though. Flip of that conversations mentioned because you won that Heisman in college, but you're doing in the pros, my boy. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
For 75 yards in the touchdown.
I think
that just put him back in the conversation.
When you talked about Brady, they started talking a lot less and less about Michigan and him getting drafted number 6 when he started winning them championships.
When he started doing his thing.
When he started running, so it's like,
yeah, that's true. Maybe with time,
depending on how successful you are in the league versus college, that holds weight in your story. Like
perfect example, Cam Newton. Also, don't nobody talk about Cam Newton going to JUCO.
Yeah, well they do, but then I was about to say what Jalen did as well. Jalen also transferred before the portal because he graduated from Bama. Because Jalen is the same class as us, 2016. He graduated that year, and then went to Oklahoma as a grad student. So this is also before the portal, which made it a bigger thing of like you just left Alabama. A lot of guys left Alabama and was successful. A lot of guys that left Alabama left because they didn't want to wait 2 more years to play, and they wanted to go be a star at Kansas State,
wherever,
or some other place. So it's like a lot, and then they never made it to the league like that. Jalen Hurts did it. Was like, I'm gonna leave Bama, and then go ball out somewhere. Still second in the Heisman that year, made it to the playoffs, lost to Burrow. Yeah, man. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. Shout out to my Eagles. It still don't feel real. I hope, I watched the
man. You gotta thank them Giants, man. You gotta thank the New York Giants.
The Giants, man. I thank everybody. I thank the Titans. I thank the Georgia Bulldogs. I thank Howie Roseman. I just thank everybody, man. We balled out, did our thing.
Cause ain't no way.
Like Jalen Hurts said at
you let your rival
the
get
pursuit continues.
Saquon.
We still got more work to do, so I ain't mad at it, man. Let's keep going. Super Bowl MVP.
Man, shout out to Gilly and Wallow, man. Shout out Gilly the kid, man.
Talking about Gilly the Wallow. Gilly had that thing going crazy.
The whole city crazy, man. I ain't never seen it crazy. city celebrate so crazy about
Bro,
it,
that
man.
man
This
pulled
one
up.
feels better. This one feels better than the one in 2017. Because remember, I said it on this. I said it better. I've said it on this podcast. I was content with the one we have because I know that there's people that'll never see their team win a ring, or so it's like to me, I was just like, I'm good. I've seen my team win a Super Bowl. I'm okay. You know, even as a kid, I saw the Gators win a national championship. I'm like, I'm good. But then this time, it's like, okay, now we getting close. Stop playing. Like, now y'all playing with my emotions. We done lost one now. It's like, I was okay with us being like mediocre for the rest of my life. I didn't want us to be contenders now. We
No, I
lose.
don't
And
know. That's crazy.
now that kind of switches. Now the feeling of content is gone away a little bit because I'm like, okay, we still got the same team.
Yeah, I can't
team
really hate
was
on y'all
gone.
too much because
We won that ring and that team was gone.
y'all
So to me, I
lost.
was just
Yeah,
like,
y'all lost to that same team.
it was like that team was gone right after that, pretty much. We tried to run it back, but most everybody was gone or last legs. Only
Yeah,
person that we have
they blew
now,
it up, man. That boy
Brandon
went to
Graham, shout out to Detroit.
Jacksonville.
He's still on the team, and Jake Elliott. You know, and then with this team, it was like this feels different because
Old man Brandon Graham.
This is a younger team that can run it back and do some more. We're set for the future if everybody gets back. So
that's what pissing me off, man. Y'all team
if y'all don't
young,
add
bro.
to,
Like y'all got some
don't
young
change,
superstars.
y'all not gonna go back. Everybody's gonna scheme for y'all.
For sure.
Y'all
it's
aren't.
tough.
I don't
It's
think
tough to
y'all
go
are
back.
like y'all ain't y'all don't have a dominant except for Saquon. But and I think if Hurts takes that leap this year over the offseason, then the conversation is gonna be completely different. If he takes that leap to I'm a top 3 quarterback. You know what I mean? Not a top 5 in a sense where my talent, you got a game plan for me. You don't got a game plan for Saquon and then game plan for me and what I might do with my weapons. No, you got a game plan for this backfield.
I think that determines because I'm not saying the man has peaked his game, but his game is kind of where his game is. And it's the same with Lamar. Lamar has tweaked his throwing accuracy a little bit over the year. Josh Allen has tweaked his decision making over the year. But at a point in the NFL, they kind of know how to game plan for you. I don't know what else they could do. But what I think is what would be elevated his game is depending on what OC we hire. Because Kellen Moore, a great, you know, and I was worried because the night before the Super Bowl, I saw it. Adam Schefter dropped the news. Even though we kind of knew Kellen Moore was going to leave, they said Kellen Moore leaving. I said, bro, that's what happened when we lost last time. We lost Steichen. He took the Colts job. And then a lot of people saying he half called plays when we lost to the Chiefs the first time. So I'm worried that shit was going to happen. But then I'm like, wait, he's about to take the Saints job. The game is in New Orleans. This motherfucker better win this damn Super Bowl. He better be here. Don't you? You better not lose this. You better not half-ass this shit. Because now the fan base is gonna be like, nigga, you half-ass them niggas. Now you coming into our city. You came to the city. You like if I'm killing more.
Saints fan been losing for a minute. They already feel skeptical.
I would love to like start off right and be like, you know what, I want a Super Bowl in this city. Not because if I come in on Monday, they be like, nigga, you a fucking loser. You just lost last night. We done hired a fucking loser.
You going into it?
It's like, goddamn, bro. You already in the city, nigga. You had
setting
your
it off
just,
bad.
you know. So I think Kellen Moore really didn't, you know, he did us right. Pause. But
that was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. Sorry. Yeah, all of us too. That's crazy. But
y'all could go back, but it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough.
Depends on the OC because we saw last season that bad OC Brian Johnson, how bad him and Jalen Hurts. That was a lot of his struggles. You know, too many screens. Too many fucking screens.
The good thing with y'all though, even if y'all have
Kellen
like,
Moore don't do that shit. He don't run
the good thing with y'all though, y'all team is relatively young, so y'all could like, y'all still got room for like multiple years trying to get different OCs or you know what I'm saying, different coordinators to fit. Cause y'all got a young team, so y'all got time. But I see one more. If
we'll see what we do, man. We got some time, but man, let's just get up out of here, man. It was a good Super Bowl. Glad we chopped it up. And shit, we gonna be up out of here. NFL season's over. Y'all know what we talking about next, man. NBA season, getting into the thick of it, pause. And now we about to start talking a little bit more about that, man. Yes, sir. Y'all got anything else to say before we get up out of here?
You want that bad.
Man, stay on the lookout for another heavily opinionated, you know, episode. We dropping them.
Hey, we thought you left.
Much love.
Yes, sir. We out of here. Peace.